Hey, you done here? Okay, back with another live stream and working on Mom's PC upgrades with Fedora 27 and Mate Desktop. And let me check my stream real quick. I see it playing, but this laptop is convenient, but it's also pretty sluggish. But it might get better. I realized I kept wondering why it was doing crazy things, like it starts at -1 hour and counts down backwards on the counter on that in Firefox on that machine and not on this one. And I finally got wise and looked at the version number, and that's running Debian 8, and that's not being updated anymore, and or at least not very many updates, maybe a few security updates, and Firefox isn't being updated anyway, and and they stay a little behind anyway. Debian goes, they want everything to be super stable. That's kind of their thing. And so anyway, it's 45, Firefox 45, and it's kind of a remix of Firefox. It's called Firefox ESR, and I had actually forgotten. I went ahead and downloaded Firefox. Itching, dry skin. Downloaded on the Dell 1525 laptop that I set up for Mom to use. I downloaded Firefox and set it up in a standalone quasi portable version, and it updates itself. Well, I hadn't done that on this laptop, so it's behind, and it's not any. I kept thinking it was some kind of new update they did that made a some kind of bug, was a bug in it or something, but what it is it's just out of date, and so probably some update doesn't work on it. Update in the YouTube, again, I guess I was kind of right. An update in the YouTube code, just now thought of that, probably just doesn't work on the older version of Firefox is what it is. So there we go, there's that. I'm gonna get back on my desktop here, and I've got I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm showing again what I'm going to show. But I've got, let's see, click in there, F8, okay, full screen. I learned that short, and now I know how to make Tiger VNC Viewer full screen and back out of full screen. I looked that up last time. I went ahead and did it during my stream, and so I've got it written down too in case I forget. Of course, it's on a sticky note, and those sticky notes can only stay in my view for so long. You wouldn't believe how many. I've got books and books of sticky notes. I tried doing digital sticky notes and stuff, but I don't know. It just didn't stick with me too well. The thing is, it's well, I tried different apps, and some of them I like, some of them I don't, and I just kind of forget to use them. For one thing, I would just, most of the time it's easier to grab a sticky note and write on it with the pencil than it is to type on the computer. As much typing as I actually do, you wouldn't think so, but it is. And of course, there's always those times when you're not actually on the computer and you want to make a note about something that you're going to do on the computer. So anyway, I'm kind of stuck with sticky notes over all these years still. I still use them a lot. If I want to make a note, it's usually a paragraph, and I usually just go ahead and do it in email, and then if it turns out to be something I think is important, I'll just send it to my blog. I used to blog almost every day, but I don't do it so much anymore, but I use it for what a blog was originally for, mostly. I put stuff up there that's notes to self mostly, and then if other people find it helpful and interesting, that's good. And I kind of got to where, actually I say that, but then now all I really do is sometimes I'll post videos that I found that are interesting that other people did on there and stuff. And what really torques me though is, and it's kind of one reason I guess it's kind of got me away from posting on it is because I've been doing a lot more videos of my own. And what torques me is that YouTube and Google, it's all set up. It'll automatically post on Google Plus every time I make a video. I couldn't care less about that. I don't use that. But it won't, there's no way, it's not set up to make it go straight to your blog, and that's where I'd want it to go, And then I can go back and I can make comments and edit it and do all that stuff. But that Google Plus, it's just everybody that you're connected with on there, all their junk, like if somebody posts a bunch of stuff, it shoves all your stuff down to the bottom. So it's weird. I mean, a lot of people, millions of people love Facebook. I don't like it. I don't like all that. I just don't like writing down or making little. I'm over here at the post office, and I'm pissed off about this, or I don't like that. I just soon make a video bitching about everything instead. But I try to not do that too much. I try. Anyway, I don't want to sit there and write about it, and I don't want to read about it. And so I don't do the Facebook hardly at all, and unless somebody contacts me, because most of my old friends that I used to know in real life, they are on there, and so that's the only way I hear from them anymore. And with the blog, I like that because I can write things. I can write things, notes to self, how-tos, or interesting things. I can post them on there. I like that. It's basically just another type of web page, but it's really easy to update because you can just email. I bet the best HTML editor I found is Thunderbird email program, and you can just make an email up, and it's got all the features I need to make a nice, good-looking, email HTML document, and then just email it to my blog, and it's posted. So anyway, I don't know why I went into that at all. But here I am back on Mom's machine, and go ahead and open up Firefox since we're originally talking about that. So I got, I did a little rundown, I did a little test on it, and I played some of my own videos and stuff to see how well it would handle it. And it does well enough, I think. And I did a little setup. I did some syncing and stuff, and I'll have to look and see where I left off. I'm trying to, in the meantime, do a reload on my preview here. Let's see. I gotta think about what, now that I'm doing desktop, I gotta make sure I don't go showing things I don't want to show here on the video. But okay, yeah, making sure that everything's still working. Okay, so I got the fonts as big as I could get them, and not have them get. I was using one of our home pages as a judge. They start running the sentences together, and the letters are touching each other up and down wise. You can't read them. So, and then I did the syncing, the Firefox sync, but it didn't. And it's supposed to do the settings, I think. Let's see, where is that? There we go. Yeah, sync settings. Somewhere there is a place to say. It used to be a place to say settings. Sync your settings. I don't even see that. Maybe that's why I had to do all my settings again in here, because I don't see that. And search, I set that up the way I wanted it for her. And I won't go into privacy and security area, because that's would be the things I don't want to show. But the home pages, they synced automatically, and the add-ons synced. So if I go to Tools, Add-ons. And there's the plugins. That's the only one. Oh yeah, I need to check and see what plugins I have. Let's just do that right now. So if I do the F8, get out of the full screen, and now I'll go open up Firefox in my machine, and see what kind of. I always put that extra toolbar in there, and you see. Okay, now that's how mine is, but it's at 110%. Now if I go to see, I really needed that size for me to read it good. Let me see what the. I wonder if that has something to do with my font sizes. I have 18, yeah, and I discovered that jams them up. So let me try it that way. I'm gonna do mine like I just did hers. And that's just that one particular page, but I have got to where I don't read it much anymore because of that, because it's not. So I guess that made them even smaller. Huh. You know what? It might have something to do with the default fonts I have for let's see, what are the font size I have in. Okay, let me go to look and feel. Appearance. Now on her machine, I'm running traditional OK as the theme, and then I changed the fonts to 11. Okay, now on my machine, I'll just, well, let's get out of there so it won't be confusing. Go just to my machine. Look and feel. Now this is Fedora, well, it don't matter though, it's Fedora 23, but they're both mate desktop. This is 23 and hers is 27. Now what am I on? I think I'm on, it's custom, but it doesn't show, highlight the one that I don't want to make it, mess it up. I'm happy with everything except for, that's 11. I'm pretty sure it's on, since it looks like traditional OK, this one here, I think that's the one it is. I'm not going to change anything. I don't want to go messing my stuff up and having to fight with it. But, yeah. Okay, so that's what 17 is. It's not big enough. I guess that's why I had mine on 18. But that doesn't jam it together as badly, so I'm going to leave it like that because I don't really like having to do that, zoom it in, but you know, all pages are different. They have different fonts. But the ones you can set there, I have them all at 11. As a matter of fact, I make minimum font size 11, but font size 11 in one font is what can be way smaller than font size 11 in another font. So, but that's really too small for me to read there. That's okay. That I like better, but then things seem out of shape. They're getting too close together. The lines are too close together, or they look like it to me. I think I may be having more trouble reading stuff than she is. I'm farsighted, but now for years I've had to wear those, you know, dollar store magnifying glasses. Well, I used to get them at the dollar store. Add-ons, and but now my eyes are, well, my eyes, they do it partially because I have diabetes. You know, they change all the time because of that, but they're never really good anymore. Anyway, well, I haven't been in probably 2 years to get my eyes tested, but every time I did get them tested, they said, no, you don't need glasses. Just keep on, I tell them I was wearing these, and they, oh, well, just keep on wearing those. Okay, so there's my add-ons. Now, the add-ons is not really what I'm looking for. I've already got figured out what I wanted for her and what I have a few more than she does. Plugins, okay, there we go. Web-defined content decryption module provided by Google. Well, that's one of those things that I didn't put in there. There's no extra plugins that I installed in here. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I just have Open264, H264 I mean, and the web-defined content decryption module. Let's go into more and see. Okay, webdefined.com. See if we can go to that page. I don't know why I have it. And I don't see any way to like download it, install it. Oh wait, getting started. Oh, it's for DRM stuff. So you can play copyrighted content. Probably I was watching something that said, you're going to need this if you want to watch this. And I said, okay. And it was probably Amazon. Most likely it was Amazon because we have the Amazon Prime. Now I'm back on hers. I'm going to see. I'll go there and see if it does that. Okay, so that's the thing I was mostly interested in. I may close the browser in my machine. Now, I'll get back over here and let's see about F8. Still seems off to hit F8 when you're not booting a machine up. Okay, now, yeah, we're in full screen, so I want to go to, I'm trying to this is in hers, not mine, but of course we got it the thing connected, you know, so we can share the video stuff and all that. Oh, it's not signed in. Well, it probably doesn't even have to be signed in just to go to the video thing. At least not to just. All you have to do is play a preview, I think, and it'll. Well, maybe it won't go there without being signed in. Well, I should have the password in there, so you don't have to type it or anything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I tried to be more. I should have been more. I've been trying to be careful not to even show email addresses, but I think I already done it before in another video. But it'd be smarter if I didn't. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Prime Video. Now that may go to her actual videos. No, that was what I wanted. Included with Prime. Okay, now. Well, I can't play any of it. I forgot. Okay, because it'd be video, just going there. I don't even know if I can get. Oh yeah, you must enable DRM. Okay, that's all I needed. Right there, enable DRM. Now that's probably took care of it. Let's see. It's installing and needed to play the video. Please try later. Okay. That's all I needed. Now I think I just hit the home button. So now if I go to add-ons, plugins, now there it is, Web Divine Content Decryption module. Provided by Google. Okay, but it was done in Firefox, so I guess it's just how, you know, Amazon does it. So I don't think that's going to make that's not really, you know, any kind of codec player or anything. It's not a codec. It's like Open H.264 that plays the H.264 video codec. This is a content decryption module, but she's going to need that, so I'm glad I ran into that. So comparing mine to hers, that's a quick way to get it figured out what I got to do. There's a legacy extension in there, Dr. Web Antivirus. I wonder if I have that. Probably not. I have to go back and open mine up. I keep closing my browser as soon as I think I have some kind of update installed, because you know, I don't want my machine working hard to run the browser. Just running the browser works the machine over time. It'll sit there just on any given page. It'll use up memory. I think it actually uses up video memory when you're not even playing a video. It seems like it does. Okay, so what was I going to go look at? Oh, legacy. I was going to see if there's if I have any legacy extensions in mine. There very well could be. Oh yeah, looky there. These. Oh, I see. These are all the ones I used to use. That's what they did with them. I didn't know they did that. I just thought they'd uninstalled them and they were gone. Yeah, Dr. Web Antivirus. Oh, so if I wanted to look in there and say, yeah, I want something like that, I could say find a replacement. Okay, scrapbook. Yeah, I used to really like that. I used to use it a lot. VTZilla, that's the one I kept saying I really liked and I used to use all the time. I'm going to click on find a replacement. They didn't upgrade to the new format. Web Safer with Virus Total. Well, that's the same people, I think. I guess they just made a whole new extension. It's by Sky. Wait a minute, let's see what it says. Oh, okay. It uses 64 different. Yeah, this is the same thing that it used to do. It's the one that I was using. Sky, Norton, Avast, Avira. It uses all 64 different scanners. I used to use it all the time. I'm going to go ahead and put it on both of ours. There we go. Add. Okay. that doesn't even say what it is. Oh, I'm just not done yet. I was trying to see, that's how easy it is to overwhelm the browser in this machine. Well, that's an advertisement, I guess. See, they find ways to advertise to you no matter what. That didn't get saved in any place. I was trying to put it in Firefox add-ons, but it just is add-on browser, so that's not actually the page. But that's where the smart folder finder actually worked that time. It knew where I wanted it at that time. But see how long it takes to save something? And this happens whether I'm making a video or not. Making videos doesn't. That's how badly Firefox runs on this system. And when I very first got the new version, before I added any add-ons, it was pretty good. But it didn't immediately, when I put the add-ons that I'm using, it didn't just suddenly go to crap. Because of that, and these are all disabled, so they're not causing any trouble. But get add-ons, extensions. What am I trying to say? I don't think that the ones I have are causing it to be poor. I'm almost certain it's my so many bookmarks. It's just funny that that's what makes them work so hard, but it seems to. I really, because I've used a lot. I mess with machines and I play with them and build them and do that a lot, enough to see, not a lot anymore, but enough to see. When you don't have hardly any bookmarks, you're fine. And even when you have a whole bunch of add-ons. Now, she doesn't have as many as I do. Oh. Now, what I'm needing to do here, okay, tools, add-ons. I need to get to, where is that? What was that thing? VTZilla. Oh, it's not showing yet, I guess, because probably going to have to close. Is it there or not? Video. I think I'm going to have to close it and open it back up. So, make sure it's finished closing. That's what I like about this particular system monitor, is you can do that. This is called System Monitor, KDE System Monitor. There's a lot of KDE apps that I really like. And you'll notice that right now it is using a little bit of CPU power, but I was also, searching it and all that. Now it quit. But it doesn't do so bad. I mean, you might, you could give yourself a little bit of relief by not running it until you need it. But then as soon as your system starts slowing down, especially when I'm running OBS Studio and stuff, you need to get to it quick. You don't have time to open it up. It won't open up in time. So if it's already running, you can get in there, see what's messing up your system, and click on it and end it before it locks up your system and ends your fun for that until you reboot. So I've been keeping one or the other of those, one that does like that you can search in for years and years, all day. It used to, as time goes on, apps use more resources. They used to didn't use anything noticeable. Okay, now, Safe Web. Yeah, it's. I don't think it was in there a minute ago, but there it is now. I saw it right away. It's not called VTZilla anymore. It's called Safe Web with Virus Total. Actually, it may just be a different add-on. I don't know. But that's what I want. It's only got 3 stars, but it should be okay. I usually try to get them that have. I need to get the name of it or something so I can. No. Or maybe I can get its. Yeah, I want to go to its home page so I can find a way to get to. Oh, I see. That's its home page, but it's. So I guess I'll just have to type it in there. Okay, Safe Web. Probably if I type safe web in there, get add-ons. Okay. No, I guess I want extensions. What are add-ons? Oh, these are something even different. This is probably apps. You know, they had these things called apps, and I tried a couple of them. I didn't like them. They slowed the browser down to where it wouldn't run good. They were silly things like games mostly and stuff. But I tried one thing that I thought I might like, and it was really hard to. Once I got it in there, I like to never figured out how to get it out of there. Actually, I don't think I ever did. I think I finally figured it out, but I left it alone because I just got it out of my way, you know. But anyway, so I guess that's what they're calling them now, what they used to call apps. There's Norton Safe Web. Let's see, I want... It certainly didn't come right up. Safe Web. Oh, there we go. Can I copy that? I think I tried to copy. Yeah, you can't. How weird. Safe Web with virus total. I'll just type the whole thing. Virus total. There we go. What the heck? Why is that so hard to find? Well, aren't you just a pain in the butt? Let's go to the legacy, see if it comes up when I say find something like Dr. Web. No. That Dr. Web was okay, but it was, I don't know, it was, I think there was something about the way it worked that was weird. With the Safe Web, you can just right click on any link and say scan with virus total. That's what I used to do. Yeah, it was called virus total. Okay, we'll try one more thing here. Extensions. Safe Web. Let me try it this way. Just try virus total in there. Web safer with virus total. I think that's what it was labeled. Am I going crazy? Safe web with virus total. Okay. But I believe that is it. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Okay, so add to Firefox. You do want to watch out and don't just install something without knowing where, you know, if it's not part of the checked and approved group. Well, all of them you get in the Firefox. Okay, allow. All of them you get through the Firefox interface should be okay. So that's why I actually kind of hesitate to just go to their website. That, and I don't see it. All I see is all this other junk games and stuff that I don't want nothing to do with. So yeah, see, it comes up with another pop-up tab. And that's with all the ad block already on there, and plus there's ad blockers and pop-up blockers in Firefox now, you know, built into Firefox. And even with the pop-up blockers in Firefox and the ones that are in AdBlock Plus, there, you still get some stuff like that. I guess you'd call that a really tricky pop under, because it popped under a tab under everything else and didn't even bring it to the forefront. But when you do things that are tricky to try to get me to check out your stuff, or I don't want it, period, just because you tried to trick me. So there. Now can try hitting reload, but yeah, see, it won't come up until we close Firefox and open it back up. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to close that again, because it definitely could slow things down too much for me on my machine. Go ahead and make that full screen, unless I'll probably go right back into wanting to look at my machine again. There's something different here. It must be the desktop effects. It's not too much, but it's kind of pleasing. You get that little 3D looking. It jumps down a little bit when you click on Firefox to open it up and stuff. I used to like those spinning boxes and stuff, but I thought they were really cool when they first came out with them. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard of it, but there was some really cool 3D desktop effects that they had that was pretty popular for a while, several years ago now. But my machines didn't run it too well. I didn't want the overhead. You could kind of tell it made it a little sluggish. But there were settings you could do. You could do kind of the lighter weight versions of it. And I can't remember what they called the name of it, but it looked cool, but it bothered my eyes. I couldn't stand it, all that stuff moving and spinning and stuff. So, and that box that you would kind of drag and make it spinning around and around to find stuff, it just made it harder for me to find stuff. So, I've never found anything faster than just having four. I have 6 I call them desktops because that's what you started out learning on with Windows, but they call them workspaces. They call these workspaces. See, workspace 1 through 4, and then these at the top and bottom they call them panels, and I call them toolbars. But I try to. Sometimes I call them what I'm supposed to, and sometimes I don't. Anyway, add-ons again. Okay, now we should have Safe Web. Yep. Now I don't think there's really any settings in it. But let's go somewhere and I don't know. Go do a search and go to my website. It's hard to find my website even when I put in my actual web address now. I can just type it in there, but sometimes I get it wrong. I like to do it just to see where it's coming up, and what happened to me, I used to be @1. If you just typed in Don Songs without, the .com, I would be the first 3 to 6 slots there. Of course, I am coming at DonsSongs.com, at least my YouTube channel. I don't know what that is. You know what? I think that actually might be my page. Yeah, I think it is. I guess I'll look and see. That's an old page that I don't even do anything with anymore. Yep, it is. It's mine. And there's a link to what I was looking for. Oh, I'm just clicking on links without doing what I came here to do. So, yeah, there's my website with albums. You click on those to go to my albums, and you can, let's say, let's say you went to my album. Well, that's my first album. Let's say you wanted to download that song, but, you want to make sure it's okay first. So you have this virus scanner, you right click on it, and then you say scan the file. Now, wouldn't this be great if it come up bad? But it shouldn't be. I mean, I've had them. They're all read-only stuff. They shouldn't be able to anybody get in there and do anything to them. Now, it didn't come up. It should come up with a little window saying it's scanning it. Not sure. Let's try a different page. That is an MP3 file. Let's try an actual link. Say, like, if normally you'd want to do that before you do your search on Google, and then, well, that's YouTube. So I don't know which one that is, but one of my videos, I think. Okay, scan the file or the page. Oh, okay. Look it down at the bottom. Queue. It's in the queue. Is it taking that long? What does that mean? It's different than it used to be. Queue. I don't understand. You should have just scanned it. Maybe it's not. This thing is not any good. Oh, it says clean site. Okay, so instead of coming up with a nice window where you can see what's going on, it puts this little bitty thing down here. Let's see if it did that on this one. I'm gonna do the same. I'll do another one. See, I don't see anything coming up. And you would think it would scan an MP3 without, it would definitely do that. Let's scan that link I used to go to my website. Okay, scan. There, it did that. Just doing HTML files. Okay, Q. Can barely see it. I don't like how it's like that. But at least it does work. Scanning. Okay. And it's scanning it with now the other one, it used to open up a whole, you could do it a couple of different ways, but you could have it open up a whole another page and it would show the results of every virus scanner and tell you which ones gave what results, and it was really cool. Looks like it's taking so long, it must be scanning that whole page. Clean. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I mean, I would be really upset if it wasn't. But, well, it says it scanned youthpastor.com, though. It didn't say it scanned the link. Oh. So what's it doing? Okay. That's really got me confused. Okay, I used to do something else. Let's see. Okay, let's just trying to look. Actually really just interested in my scanning mine. You know, a link. Oh, there's another. Where's this one? Google.com. And I get, okay, yeah, after it's scanned, then you can click on it. It stays up there waiting for you if you want to click on it. If they're going to do it that way, they ought to put it either at the top or close to where you clicked, you know, not way down there. I guess down at the bottom is really the only good. Okay, so yeah, that was the YouTube link. Of course, you didn't expect it to be anything but. And, okay, and you can close that if you want. So it'll just stay there. It's okay, but it's not near as good as it used to be. So let's say I wanted to scan that. You already did that, but okay, instead of just clicking on it, I'm going to hold down Control and click on it. See if it, no, it doesn't make it open up in a new tab. That's what you used to be able to do with that old add-on. So it's scanning the whole same one again. Maybe it's doing, okay, this is the link, you know, the google.com link, but it should go, okay, it's clean. Of course, we already knew that. Now it'll go to that site. Okay. It's not much there anymore. Okay, just a little link. Okay, now let's see if we can scan. Maybe I didn't actually get the link last time. Okay. And that's got, instead of just saying it's a link to my site, see it says youthpastor.com, a bunch of numbers and an HTML. Well, let's find out. Anyway, this is how this new one works. I'm learning. It's not anything like the other one. It's kind of weird. Okay, but that was going to my site though. So it scanned my main page of my site and it's clean. Of course, it didn't scan. Now let's see if I can scan that image link. People don't do that as much as they used to be real popular back when I built my site. It says all your links were images, you know, most of them. I mean, I did both to make sure that if somebody didn't notice that, they could see this, you know, see these others down here. But it didn't do anything though, did it? Let's try this one. Of course, that's a little bit floaty and slow in the, you know, to move. That's because I'm on remote desktop. No, it doesn't seem to want to do it on that kind of a link. Let's try it on, let's see. I guess that one, that's a text link. Well, I don't know why it doesn't show up. My pages are just straight HTML. And I was started to talk about that yesterday, and I think I completely shifted gears in the middle of a sentence. I started out building mine back in 98 or 99. Yeah, 98, first time I built a web page, and I started building on my stuff, and little by little, you know, I built them up. And anyway, I always stay. Well, I did have some dynamic websites when I used to rent my server space from GoDaddy, but I got to where I couldn't afford it anymore, and I learned how to set up servers of my own. So for years now, 5+ years, I've had my own server sitting here right here in my room. But I had to go back to the old HTML because the PHP was really hard to keep it set up working right, or not just PHP, but any of them. PHP was one of the first ones, but the dynamic websites, I'm trying to think of the ones that I liked. But anyway, the biggest problem I saw was the security. It was a constant battle to keep them secure, because even though you weren't doing any well, I was doing downloads, but as far as I weren't doing any uploads, and people weren't allowed to upload, but that didn't mean they couldn't find a way to do that, and they could like rewrite your files with, infected stuff, and that didn't go anywhere. Oh, it's just slow. Okay. Close the extra pages, it might help. Okay. So anyway, the HTML editors that I use, they're still around, and they have a function that could convert your HTML into HTML5 when that came out. I was saying I followed HTML kind of here and there when it very first came out. It was pretty resource heavy at the beginning. They kept saying how wonderful it was going to be, and it wasn't going to be as resource heavy as Flash, and no, it's not, but it is still pretty darn resource heavy. That's why YouTube is so resource heavy. It runs all on HTML5 now, and although it's pretty good, it's really good overall, it is resource heavy. So I don't know, it won't scan my MP3s, so that I can tell. Of course, I know they're okay, but because I don't have any, that's one good thing about HTML, HTML5. There's not all those holes, security holes that can't be broken into as easy, as long as they're just read-only files. And there's no, I mean, you can right-click and save as, that's how you save my music. But there's no uploading in anything, and there's not all those things that can be messed up so easily like in all the dynamic websites. So I still keep saying one day I'm gonna Drupal. That's the one I like so much. Get Drupal installed. I've installed it on Fedora 14. I used to try out and test all kinds of website backends. I got Drupal 6 and 7 on it, and all kinds of stuff. I have a bunch of websites that I messed around with that I never ever allowed to be seen on the internet, because I didn't ever put them on my actual web server. I was just trying them out on there. I haven't done any of that in a while now, a couple of years. So my website looks, I guess you'd say it looks ancient. But when I started using images for backgrounds, nobody was doing that. Well, I learned how to make them lightweight, we'll say, so that they would load on dial-up. And of course they're tiled. So you can obviously tell that one's tiled. Some of them, if you get them, well, back when when I did that, they were I could make them 800 by 600, and they would fit your average CRT monitor. You could barely maybe sometimes see a little bit on the side, instead of now it's tiled 1, 2 and a half, almost 1, 2 and a quarter times, That's a picture I took of a place I used to go camping with my friend, and the light, that's just with a 35mm film camera point and shoot, and the light, I didn't color that. That's the way it looked. It was really cool. It was just a beautiful sunset. It may be shaded a little more red than it was in real life, just because it came out that way. But I didn't take a regular picture and color it like that. Anyway, I don't know. Let's see if that's my archive.org page. I bet you could scan that link. Seems like any links on my page won't scan with that thing. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know, but I've got, I guess I would be tired. It's did I say 1332? March 27, 1332. What is it with the clocks? I want 12 hours. I've always used 12 hours. I've never changed it. Why are you changing it, machine? That Mom, when I set that laptop up for mine, one of the first times she got on, she says, "I can't tell what time it is," and she was trying to use the clock to see how much time she had left before she had to. She set her pickup time on her groceries, but she sets it at the beginning instead of waiting until she's done. She sets it at the beginning, and then she runs out of time. Look at that. It's on centigrade instead of Fahrenheit. And it's on whatever instead of miles per hour. You know that, well, it's missing again. Oh, there's no location. That's probably why something went wrong. Something must have got messed up. Naval Air Station, Meacham, Spinks Alliance. I can't remember where Spinks is. I think it might be a small airport closer to us than. That's the closest one I know for sure. The Naval Air Station. It used to be Carswell Air Force Base. There we go. Now we probably have our temperature. Yeah, it's gonna come back up. I think I can see it should come up and actually show it, or it had been. Oh, I'm on her new machine, not mine. I'm all mad, thinking mine got changed. This is not changed. It just had never been set before. Dummy. Had my hand up in front of the mic because I was covering my mouth from coughing. There it goes. It showed up. Just took a while. So it's 64 outside, 78.8 in here with the window open and the fan running. But I've also got 4 computers running, so it's really doing pretty good. Nimbus screen capture is a pretty good add-on. I like that. See, if you click on it, then I need to set it up probably. Went to the page instead of let's see. If I right click on it, I should be able to setting. There it is, settings. It works best for me. Hide the fix element, save position, enable quick screenshot without opening. I like that. Oh wait, do I? Yeah, I do. But not visible part of the page. I want the entire page. That's pretty much what I always want. And then edit, because that gives you a chance to see if it actually worked. Let's see. You don't want a blank screen. Why is that even an option? And then the rest of them are fine. And then there's some keyboard shortcuts too. And you can send it to some web. Well, there. Send to Nimbus Slack. Okay, but I think that should be about it. Now, if you click on it, it should open it up in another page. Let you look at it. I didn't get the whole page, but sometimes that happens when right after you change the settings, and then it'll straighten out. Let's see, make sure I didn't get it wrong. Entire page, hide fix elements. I'm not sure. On mine, I don't think that, hiding. I'm not. Those fixed elements, I think it's stuff you don't really want to see. I think I have mine set up that way. And edit entire page capture. Let's see. Save the position of the selected area. No. Yeah. Entire page and edit. Oh, you could do those other things. That's what I would want. Okay, now you can say you can write on it. You can do all kinds of cool things. I used to try that more, like putting text on it and stuff in it. it's kind of finicky and didn't always want to do what you expected it to do. But yeah, sometimes it will only do what the visible part of the page, and then sometimes it'll do what it's supposed to. So that's why I like to have it show you what you're going to do, and you can say, well, that didn't work any better than just, you know, hitting the print screen on the keyboard and get a screenshot that way. But you can hit done, and then you can go save image as, create a free account, send to Google. You can do quite a few things. You can print it. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool screenshot app. Hit reload on that. There we go. Now let's see what happens if we try it on this page after it's been loaded. Nope, it's still not doing it. Let's go to home and see if it does it just right to one of these other pages. This one, let's see if it'll do it right. Sometimes it won't, no matter what you do, and then after you've closed the browser and opened it back up, it's suddenly working right. Okay, now it got that one. And some pages it just won't do it. And maybe mine's one of them. You see, it got the whole page. And if you're on a long page, it will make it when you open it up in a image editor, it'll be tiny. It'll be long and tall and tiny, and you can't read it. But if you zoom in, matter of fact, my image editor, WinView, that I like to use, if you hit Control Plus, you can zoom in. Control Minus, you can zoom out just like in the web browser. But so okay, so yeah, you can spend forever doing all this stuff. You see all the little details that I don't remember unless, you know, when I build a system for myself, probably 3 months would be the quickest. 6 months is generally how long it takes me to get it kind of up to where I want it. Because I notice things and I do it, you know. But when you're doing it for somebody else, then you got to try to notice it all right away and do it before you give it back to them. Okay. Now, I'm going to remove that Dr. Web because I've found something that sort of kind of works. I don't want to go on and on looking for. She probably won't use it. She never did. For me, I may look at some of those others because I really did like having that. I had actually got to where I hardly opened the link without using it, and it certainly did slow down my browsing. Firefox has pretty good protections now, you know, and if you click on anything that's, they already look at pages before you go to them, and if it's known to be bad, they'll tell you, oh, this is known to be bad. But the ones that haven't been known yet, my idea was that virus scanner with 61 different scanners, about as likely as you could ever get to finding it before you get there. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's a different. I don't read those news things. I don't read the normal everyday news. I just read the tech news and stuff. But I have the normal everyday news in there for her, and some weather and stuff. Okay, so Firefox. Oh, let me do that. I kept thinking I really ought to try make sure the audio's all working like it should. I haven't even plugged it in since I've, got the new system up and going. So I'm going to grab the cable that I have ready to plug in and plug it in. Hang on. Okay, now, at the meantime, I was reloading my preview. I'm trying to let it play a little bit while I Now I guess I'll just go to my archive.org page. Well, I guess I could have went to my own website. What makes it buzz when I plug that in? I think she has a noisy sound card. I'll just play that first song. Okay, my keyboard does work on it, even on remote desktop. Okay. Okay, my preview shows me that it's working. Okay. There's my other album on here. Let's see, and you can, you can download them from that archive.org page too, or you can get them from my site. And since I already was kind of showing that, I'm going to put that in the toolbar there. Oh, it made the toolbar show up. Okay. If you did it on my website, then you would say, well, you can click on it just to listen to it. Oh, that made it want to download it. Most of these, usually it always opens it up in a player. No, maybe the default settings are different in Firefox now. So it said open with. Well, you could say open with. I don't have anything. I got to put VLC and all that stuff on there. It doesn't show anything that can play a MP3. I guess that Fedora doesn't. MP3s aren't free. Aren't open source, so I'd have to put something on there that can play it. So anyway, you can save it. I guess that's why it's doing that. So there's not any add-ons that could play it in here right now. That's kind of funny because my browser will play it without any extra add-ons, any codec things or anything. So it downloaded it, so then I would have to, I guess there's not, let's see if there's anything that can play it. It'll play it in the browser on my machine, but I guess I did whatever was necessary. Whoops. I clicked on the wrong thing. I clicked on KRFB. But I guess since it's already running, it didn't do anything. Hopefully. I don't want it running twice. But go to downloads. Yeah, downloads work. I clicked on it. Let's see if it'll open anything. There's nothing. Oh, it's going to try it with Exale. Yeah, music player. Okay, it can't play it just like I figured. See if it can play it with Parole. I don't like it, but yeah, it works. So they do have something. Okay, so that's how you would download MP3s, or mine anyway. I'm just going to leave it on there in case I need some music to test things with. Okay, so I think that is all I need to really do on the add-ons. And you know what? The more I fiddle around with this, the more I think, yeah, I think it can handle the browser well enough. for the things she's going to do. I don't know what I have for weather on hers. I think it's different. I decided I liked another page better. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, there's one of them. And there's the other one. Now that machine's already loud enough, but I can hear a buzz in my speakers big time now. And I'm going to unplug that. Yeah, here's our weather. There we go. Okay, so 90% chance of rain today, tonight, and tomorrow 70%. Nice temperatures though. And then it'll clean up. Okay. That ought to do it. Oh, and there's one block thing. See, that'll add block will show you what got blocked. Well, 275 in total so far since I've been options. Let's see. I already looked at that, but let's look again. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's the way I want it. And oh, there was one thing. Options. I couldn't surf without this. All that blinking junk. I mean, every time lately I've been setting up machines and all this junk blinking in my face and things slowing down the machine to where it'll barely run. All these some of those ads on the YouTube homepage are really just bring a machine. I mean, the dual core can't handle it, or especially the single core that one I'm using to preview my stuff with. You know what? I don't think I have I don't have any add-ons on it. But I guess I only really go to my live stream page, so I don't see the stuff. But no, there shouldn't be. If I go to YouTube on hers now with the ad block and everything, it should just be clean, not a bunch of junk. And let's see, let's go to my. Of course, she doesn't use it, so she doesn't have any preferred content. It noticed somehow it showed my live stream there, but it won't play. But she doesn't have it. She's got, actually, I don't think she ever, I never did. She didn't have any interest in it, so I never did, activate her YouTube account. So she can't even, put things in a playlist to watch later or anything. But she don't miss it because she don't use it. So, yeah, pretty good. I mean, this little bit of slowness is, like I said, you got to remember it's on remote desktop. So, of course, I unplug the speaker, so you're not going to hear anything. You won't. The sound, the sound doesn't transfer through the remote desktop apps. I don't know. I've seen the ability to turn it on and off before in some of them, but I'm almost certain you're not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything. So I think if you were going to hear it in the recording, I would hear it in the. So it's not. Well, it's kind of hard to guess, but it's not super fast, but I think it'll be okay. It's definitely not really slow, so badly. So let's see, what else would you go? She doesn't really use YouTube. I'm using it as like I said the other day, a bench test. I went into photos. I set that up to back up her photos out of her tablet and her computers and everything. Of course, there's still no, I haven't looked in a long time, but as far as I know, there's still no backup app for Linux and Photos backup app. I think that assistant, what does it want you to do? Add partner account. Oh, that's all it's got. Nothing about, oh, this is where you go to. App downloads. I don't think they have any. So they got Windows, Mac, and then they've got Google Play and Apple phone, and that's all they got. They don't. I guess they have no plans to build. It's been a long time now, a couple of 3 years or whatever, more. So I guess they're not going to do a Linux app. Pretty sucky. What I have done in the past is set up a machine with Windows. I had that AS Rock set up with Windows 7, and then I would I would share the folders I wanted backed up on the network, and then I would have it. And you could do that. You could back up stuff from your network or on your local machine, and I would have it running all day for a couple of days to get everything backed up to Google Photos. It's definitely a lot easier and then you can import them into YouTube, bunches at a time. I found the limit. That's like 150 or something. That's the limit. But because I was years behind on uploading videos, and so that's how I got a bunch of videos uploaded. And the reason I went through that much trouble is because every time I try to upload a YouTube video, just one video, it will use up all my upload bandwidth, and it will bring my internet connection to a halt. I can't do anything else. Nobody else can while it's doing it. So it's been that way for years. I think it's something wrong with my ISP, that I tried to get them to fix it before, and they didn't. They couldn't figure it out, they said. Of course, they didn't try that hard either, but that's, I actually worked in that. In 2000, I was an installer, and I was installing equipment in telco central offices, telephone company central offices. So I got a little bit more understanding of how all that junk works than some people, but not enough to go. I couldn't go work on their equipment. You'd end up in jail. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong, but there's something wrong. So anyway, okay. Yeah, I'm getting tired, and I'm just starting to ramble even more than usual. So as much as I kind of like feel like I'm on a roll, and I don't want to quit, but I did wake up at 2:30 this morning. So yeah, no wonder. Getting tired. Okay, so I think Firefox is in pretty good shape now. My next thing will be, and I think that's the reason I started with Firefox, is that is the one thing that uses up the most resources. And before I go installing apps or doing anything else, I want to make sure this is the system I'm going to use. This is, I could stay with Fedora 27 and go to XFCE, but there's a lot of drawbacks, a lot of things that don't work right or aren't available at all, and it probably wouldn't bother her, but it'd bother me in my administration of the system for, There's LibreOffice, which comes with with Fedora. She'll use that, she uses she just uses, LibreOffice Writer. I don't hardly ever use any of the other stuff either. But I do use spreadsheets some, so I'll use technically I'd be using, you're not using Writer when you do spreadsheets, you're using Calc. So I don't have any files on here or anything, but there's nothing really to do with that. There is some settings I used to change from myself, but I don't use it as much as I used to, so I really just pretty well leave it on its defaults. And I'm going to reload that preview again. Okay. Yeah, so need VLC. Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't have, and I need to set up, I'm going to have to go ahead and, I guess I need to set up, every time I open up KRFB, it wants me to, it says, well, do you want to open up, set up a encryption key? It gives you two choices, and of course it's already running, and I'm using it, so I can't show you. But it gives you two choices, Blowfish and the newer one, whatever it's called, and I just been hitting cancel and not doing it. And I did check. I guess I did that in the previous video. I checked to see what startup items, and if I can get it to drag down, okay, that'll be enough. So genome keyring, that is the only keyring on here. It didn't install KDE's keyring or anything, so that's what's doing it, even though it's a KDE app. And so I'll probably just it can be helpful anyway if I go ahead, and I'll have to get the instructions out to get the commands, but I've got them saved, and of course I can look them up. But I need to make a PGP key, I think is what it's called for this system, a private and public key. That's what it's wanting me to do, but it doesn't. I mean, you can't do it from that. It's just telling you need to do that, and so I'll need to do that. And then also when I want to SFTP into it, I can use that to be able to do that easier. I finally realized over the last few years, I used to just use the passwords, and everything, but now it's actually pretty easy. You just make your keys, and then copy the public key over to the machine you're wanting to log in from, and then it'll do it. You don't even need a password. So, and they say that's more secure. Of course, I guess as long as, to me, that's, if anybody got into your files in any way and they got all those public keys, then that would give them the key to every machine that you've been logging into. So that seems a lot worse than passwords to me. Because the other way with passwords, every machine has a different password. If they get one, they don't have them all. But if they broke into one machine and you've been storing those public keys on there so that you can use them, and that's what you're going to end up doing is every machine I have, if I was going to be SFTPing in between all of them like I used to do all the time before it got complicated to set up, or before I figured out how they'd changed it. But so what I need to do to be able to do SFTPs, SSH shells and stuff between all my machines like I'm used to do all the time, I set up public and private keys on every machine, and then get all the public keys, and I'm going to need them on each and every machine so that I can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Either that or put them on a USB key that's one option. You could put them on a USB key, and then you'd have to plug it in every time, to get it. But the simple thing to do would be to copy that public key to every machine. Like copy them all to one folder and then copy that folder over to every machine, so you could log into whatever machine you want to log into on your network. That's a lot more. That's more pain in the butt than just knowing your passwords to me. And they say it's more secure, but I already see a fault with that, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that you would do to make it most convenient to work. That's also the thing that could kick you and bite you in the butt later, because if someone got into even just one machine, if you had done what I just said, then they would be able to have access to all your machines without knowing a password or anything. So I figured that out when I finally got serious about setting up remote backup with Lucky Backup. I finally read enough to understand that whole concept. I just didn't want to fool with it, I had made a key here and there on a couple of machines and done what I had to get one thing done, and then just forgot about it. Because I just wanted to use my passwords like I always did, And the machines that I already had set up to do SFTP with and to do SSH shells, do tunnels, I could still do that. But the newer ones, I just forgot about it. And since I bought that new backup drive, I've just been plugging it into whatever machine I wanted to back up to. And it is way faster. I'm probably still going to do that as far as backups goes, because it takes, now that we have so much more data, it takes so long to use a 100 megabit network card to back up, where that's the most you're going to get out of that. But if you plug in your USB, even at USB 2.0, you can get around 400 megabits at 300 maybe 350 realistically of write speed. So even if it's 200, it's still twice as fast as 100. So yeah, So anyway, I'm going to need to do that at least just so that KRFB doesn't keep asking me to do that every time. And that's also, I believe, well, I did this before. I've already done it before on another AS Rock. This is why I think when I save my my unattended password, it doesn't save it because I haven't set up that key. But I did that on the AS Rock, unless I used Blowfish instead of, I don't remember now, instead of the new PGP key. But that shouldn't have kept it from saving the passwords, you know. I've used the Genome Keyring for years, and always any other app except for this one, I say, it says, do you want to save the key or not? And if I say yes, it saves it, the password, I mean, and then I don't have to log into it every time, you know, it's just there. If there is a screen, well, usually it doesn't come up with like a login screen. Well, let's say it doesn't come up with a little, you know, a blank for you to log in. It just does it. That's why it always did work with a Genome Keyring. And you could tell it, you know, you could have like where you had to put in an access password and it wouldn't just do it automatically, but only if you put in that all access password kind of. But so I don't know. It's different now, that's for sure. Oh yeah, there's my other partitions I have set up, and that'll be later on when I get dealing with them. Hardware, okay, Bluetooth, not going to have that. I've never even ever bought a Bluetooth adapter for a desktop. I never bought one. I mean, they just come with laptops and phones and stuff. Keyboard, mouse, power management, sound. I don't need to do anything in there, but there it is. There's the audio that it has. And it normally always, ALSA audio always, well, it kind of comes with both now, ALSA and Pulse Audio in Fedora now, and it's just great. It always, that does say the monitor of built-in audio digital stereo, that's for input. Well, that would not be what I would want. That is weird. Monitor of built-in, I wonder if that would mean it would record I haven't played with that. Usually you just don't get anything when you plug in a mic, but it makes me wonder if you plugged in a mic, would it get the desktop sounds and the mic as well? Built-in audio analog stereo. I always switch it to that because I mean, I haven't plugged a mic into it. I'm going to leave it like it is because if I decide to plug in a mic, I might do it to test it. She might, if she ever decides she want to talk on Skype, you know, on her desktop, she would need that to work. Then the output, it usually sets the right display port. Well, no, it didn't. Display port? That would be the, yeah, I think this video card does send audio through the DVI. It's not HDMI, it's DVI, I think. Wait. It has HDMI and DVI. That's why. So it's selected the HDMI as the output, but the audio's still working. Huh. I wonder if that's why it's loud and crappy. There's no other thing to check. Okay. Yeah, this machine's got some bells and whistles there that none of my other machines have. That's why I'm glad I looked at that. I'm going to leave it all like it is. But if I do plug in a mic and it doesn't work, then I'll know what to do. I'll just switch to that one. And there may be a new one that comes up when I plug it in, because it does automatically recognize stuff. Digital stereo output, HDMI output. Now it still works though, but you could switch it to digital stereo plus analog stereo input. I don't know, but it's working because I played sound a while ago and it always has. So it's quite a bit different with that that video card with the HDMI that will do audio as well. It makes everything a lot different. Okay, but I don't have any speakers plugged in again because it was buzzing, but it does buzz. It's a noisy sound card, that's for sure, or a noisy power supply or something. So we bought that brand new. The original one went out. It was a 450 watt. That's a 650 watt. I wouldn't think it would be noisy, but I'm just looking through things to see what maybe I need to give attention to. Compiz, that's that where you can get the 3D boxes and all that stuff. Compiz Fusion, I think it used to be called. That says Compiz Config Manager. That's got everything. No, that's how complicated it is. That's not the whole system. That's just, you could do all the bells and whistles you could ever dream of in here. I'm not going to mess with it because I'll never remember how to set it back to normal. I mean, I guess you could do, reset or something. There's a make compatibility mode, but it's working great, so I'm not going to mess with it. Accessibility. See, it's on that right there. Desktop. It's on desktop wall. Desktop wall. Maybe that's why it's doing a few little things. Okay, now there's fading windows. I guess that's the one that causes, when you click on something, it kind of does that funny little thing. I like the way it is. I'm not going to mess with it. Screenshot. Okay, that's on. Well, that's good. Ping. Image loading. Okay. Oh, and SVG. Okay. Utility. Dbus. And that's all. Oh, I like. Crash handler plugin. Well, the defaults are probably just fine and dandy. Application switcher, scale, move window. What I'm wondering, is there anything like the spinning box, or I don't know what it was called, magnifier. I typed in box and I got magnifier. Effects. I forgot how you spell effects. I usually just try EFX. That's how in the audio world we always abbreviated it, EFX. Yeah, animations, all kinds of stuff. 3D windows. I think that's the box. Yeah, there it is. Rotating the cube. I could turn it on and then turn it back off, but I don't know. I don't want to play with it on her machine. Yeah, on mine I can do it. Then I don't want to get something out of whack and then not have to try to fix it. This is not a play machine. This is a serious machine for serious moms. All right. Who would know how to? I mean, that stuff I don't know very much about. I've never played with it that much. And then Emerald Theme Manager, that's another whole set of themes, and they're generally fancy with effects and stuff. I don't think I'm using any. Oh yeah, here we go. No, I don't think I'm using any Emerald themes at all. Don't think. But there's some of them might be. Like look at that. There's one. Oh yeah. Now I used to use something with a little bit of fanciness in the top bar there. I used to. Probably that's where I got it, I guess. But see, that's just themes. That's not those effects that I was just showing you. That's just different themes. So you could, if you click on any of these themes, you'll be using those. And then there's all kinds of settings you could do to them. So, there's just no end. I mean, you thought you could do a lot. I mean, I used to think it was fun to change the themes in Windows XP and stuff. Well, and you had to download endless stuff to be able to do that, It's all was built in with pretty much any Linux distro. Fedora, I guess, may have more than Debian. I don't know in this way. Network connections, and that's still in look and feel. Yeah, that's all in look and feel. KJA Actions Configuration Tool, that's the file manager. Now there's a whole, I didn't remember that. There's a whole deal. I don't know, it's not highlighted, I can't use it. I don't want to do anything anyway, but there's more stuff you could do for the file manager. Because that's not the one that I use and the one that I have kind of taught Mom to use. Kanji preferences. What is Kanji? Kanji. Input method. Oh, I don't want to mess with that. It's all working great. Input method selector. Ah, yeah, I saw that the other day. Startup. Now, preferred applications. Now, that is something I always set. Okay, now I will set Thunderbird once Thunderbird's installed for the email. Firefox, yes. Mate, that's the Pro. There's no other choices right now. I don't have all the stuff installed. Okay. And, yeah. Good. Okay. And I don't want to auto start any of those visual or mobility things. She doesn't need that. You know, she can, as long as I set the fonts big enough, she's fine. And I think that's big enough. Looks pretty good to me. So it should be alright to her. If not, I could make it a little bigger. You just if you go, like I said, like I was showing you on that web page, if you get too big, then things don't fit in the boxes they're made for, and they start looking worse and harder to read, instead of better. So I don't hardly ever use this menu, but it can be handy. Usually if I want to connect to a server or something, I'll do that sometimes. But since I don't like that file manager, that KJ, I don't use it. But now I do have where it'll open up that way, and at least it is one where you can do an extra pane. But I think when you close it and open it back up, it goes away. Let's see. Let's find out. Yeah, it went away. And there's that one folder I made in the documents. There we go. But that's probably would confuse her anyway if she did get in here, so I'll leave it as is. I mean, well, you can't change it. Getting hungry again. I had me a snack while I was in between, when I took my break when kind of small thunderstorm came in. It's still been raining. I think it's quit now. Now I'm getting hungry again, so it's really time for me to eat my supper since I've been up since 2:30, and it's 2:04 p.m., so that's about right for my supper. And I'll probably be tired. Usually after my supper, I'm too tired to go back to work, and I just need to get ready for bed. Well, let's see. Look at my notes. I think let's see. F8's at least something I can remember. I think I'll close that and get out of that, because I think I'm fixing to go. I could have shut it down from over here, but it doesn't really matter. So, that's not what I was looking for. So, kind of hard to figure out where to put my hand with that bar there. I got KRFB working good now. I figured out how to. TeamViewer is the most. I mean, it does the best viewing, I guess, because it's not a lightweight and not a lot to it. Oh, I was gonna look. I really do want to know. I may do that before I haven't shut it down yet or anything. Let's see. I don't really have the notes I have are things I've already done here now, so. But looking at that, it made me remember. I want to know what is the server, the VNC server that KRFB is using. So, I'll get right back in there. And so the quickest way I could say to I rebooted that, and I don't. Oh well, that updater wouldn't come up because there's not any updates. It only comes up when there's updates. So you know what? This Dragora didn't ask for any root password. Oh, it didn't look. It stayed where I left it too. It stayed in all instead of updates. But what I didn't want to do that right now anyway. That might be better, because when you've got that little app that looks for updates, you really don't need the GUI part of the app to look every time for you like that. So I don't think that'll. Oh, it was load. It was still loading. It wasn't taking my input now. But it does not. That's something I hate in an app. If you hit enter, it won't do anything. You have to go over there and click. I don't like that. Okay, so KRFB. That's all that's in there. I installed KRFB and then the libs got installed with it. But let's see what that says it is. Doesn't really say anything with KRFB libs now. BNC server. Oh, see, I'll be expecting it to work every time because all the apps I've been using for all these years in package managers, they don't do you that way. They're nice. You hit enter, they act, they search. So, doesn't seem to have found anything. That's the other thing. The settings are not. I mean, I tried searching in. God, I think that might be because of VNC, because I think normally that does stay dropped down. Description, summaries, file names. I'm going to try description. There was one you could select that would search everything, you know, all of them in the other DNFs that I've been using, like Fedora 26's DNF. And that's the only thing that makes any sense. Okay, it doesn't have Vino, the one I always used. Doesn't have Vinegary. That's not a server, is it? That's a client. Yeah, that's the client that I like. Oh, Tiger VNC Server Minimal. So that's what I'm using. I guess that's why that's what I was wondering. That's a good reason why the Tiger VNC Viewer works well, because that's what got installed along with KRFB. So on my machine, I'm thinking maybe if I uninstall the Vino server or any other VNC servers and just leave Tiger VNC server, maybe maybe that's I think I'm running 2 or 3 VNC servers at the same time, and that may be why my connections are so laggy. Yeah, that could even hurt like right now. But not on this machine. I'm sorry, I'm mixed up. That Fedora 26 AS Rock. That because what I did was install I made a script of all the apps on my machine and then installed them on the AS Rock. So pretty much everything that's on my machine is on the AS Rock. But on my machine, I should, since I'm now having to use KRFB. And since the preferred server for KRFB is Tiger VNC Server Minimal, then let's go with installed. Let's see what we get. Well, that's weird looking. Oh, okay. Now that's an awful lot. Oh, that's not installed. I guess you have to do your search again. Yeah, you got to do your search again. So lib VNC server and Tiger VNC Minimal. That's what's installed. Make writing VNC server easy. Okay. Now let's see what kind of screenshot I get. Oh, there we go. I don't want it going to the desktop. Pictures. What I want. Okay, I'll say other. Pictures. And then I want to make a new folder. I'm just going to make a screenshots folder like that. Okay, now, right, I'm not going to change her to shutter screenshot. Well, I don't have it installed, but if this one doesn't use up all the resources like it has been in years past, then this one's fine. One thing I don't like about it though, it's hard to get in. It's hard to remember for me to remember how to get into the settings to make. I want it to be a delay so you have time to move your mouse to cursor to where you want it and stuff like that. But okay, that answers a big question. So KRFB. Okay, enter won't work. Okay, now KRFB libs install, but it doesn't show the actual app. That's weird. It's really weird. And now all I got to do is just hit enter when it comes up when I do a screenshot. That's, by the way, the default is that app. When you hit pitch screen on the keyboard, you get. Now let's see why is it. I'm going to switch it to all. Oh, that's in descriptions. That's why. Now if I go names, see, that's really no good. That's just the worst search ever. That's why I'm still. That's why I was able to install Yum Extender DNF into my Fedora 23, and that's why I'm still using it. But summaries and file names, there's a third option in the older version of DNF that does. I finally found that out, up all the way up to Fedora 26. I'm going to leave it. Summaries. Let's see what happens with summaries. Maybe that would work. Nope. And of course, file names wouldn't be, it doesn't help. So names is the only one that, the default is names. And now it's not doing it. It's not finding both of them like it did a while ago. Huh. Maybe I'm trying to make it go too fast. Maybe it's not finished. It was pretty fast a while ago. I want to go back to all and that's weird. I guess I'm giving it too much to do too fast or something. Go into the options. Yeah, it must still be trying to catch up with the commands I gave it because that's not coming up. Sometimes that you'll think it's all working when you're on the remote desktop, but it wasn't. You're not seeing what's happening yet. I'm reloading I'm waiting and I'm reloading my preview to make sure I'm still working over there. Sometimes that you'll think it's all working. Oh man, yeah. See, I'm tired. I had went over to my camera because I thought I was fixing to exit right then and there. Oh, let me just log out. Updates do not show. Oh, that's the I forgot to go back to desktop when I started all that. So everything I've been showing you didn't see. Darn it. Good sign. Okay, so I opened up user preferences. It took a while. While I was discovering all that, it finally opened up. Show updates on next startup. Do not show groups. View next startup. Proceed without asking. Okay, so that's it. Let's see. Without asking for confirmation interval in minutes to check for updates. Proceed without asking for confirmation interval in minutes to check for updates. Oh. I see. That's so weird the way they've got that in there. It makes it hard to understand, but system options. So it's talking about updates evidently, I think. Well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe those don't actually go together. Maybe it's just showing, I can't make it like getting a different size or anything. Well, there we go. Doesn't make any difference. But those, they're kind of offset. So I think that proceed without asking, I don't want, that's like everything that you're, like when you say install and all that. And then interval to check for updates 180 minutes. So I'm not going to do that. Oh, show updates next startup. Actually, I like that it didn't do that in here. I'd rather KRFB do that. I mean, I'd rather Dragora do that with its update app and, just put it up in the, put that on full screen. Put it up here like normal. Oh, now it's all showing up. KRFB all. Huh. Freeze icon theme. Mate icon theme. But those are all installed, I think. Oh, now it changed again. I don't know why I had that up there like that. I definitely don't want to do any actions. I don't want to, say apply, because I don't all that. All me click. Say installed. Okay, and then KRFB. Okay, so those two are installed. I generally just leave my deal on. There is a problem now with this new version, though. I generally leave it on all. It's not reacting very well. I guess my I think maybe my remote desktop is slow. I don't know if it's the app or the remote desktop. I'll close the remote desktop and open it back up and see. See if that makes any difference. Let's see, all in names. Now let's change it to descriptions and see what we get. Yeah, it doesn't get both of them that are installed when you do that. See how misleading that is? You think things are there or not there because of the different. It should just search everything, all of the above there. That's all you want. That's all you really ever need. No. It still hasn't responded completely. But, so I guess that's part of my problem right this moment is I'm switching and hitting search, switching and hitting search, and it's not actually done yet. Yeah, now it won't. Well, yeah, it will. Summary. Let's go back to summaries. Yeah, I think I'm not getting. It might be the remote desktop. I didn't know all that was down there because it wasn't showing up. Did not realize that. That's off of the chart there. I mean, sometimes you might want it wide. I might have did that so that I could. App names are usually not much longer than that, but the summary can be quite long. Yeah, now there's the quick way to see the something green to show you that it's installed. Let's go back to names and hit that search again, see if they both come up. I was griping about that, and it was off. I hadn't noticed that you could page over. And like I said, I may have done that. Okay, yeah, it's kind of sluggish to. So there it is. They moved it away over to there. Actually, I wonder if you can drag that. I guess not. If you could drag that over, that status over to here and put it right there, then I would see that right away, and that would be good. Okay, so there you go. There's some new stuff, good and the bad, and the grappy. I'm going to get out of that before I mess something up in there. I forgot what I was trying. When I first was trying to show you, and I was on the camera, and I didn't realize it. It was all working just fine, no problems. So I'm tired, and I guess the machine's tired too. Let's get out of that. This time, I think I will just. Well, I'm out of the full screen now. It won't hurt to shut the machine down with that running. I'm just going to do it like that. Shut down. Shut down. There we go. That closes the app and everything. The other apps, they'll just stay open and just say connection lost. But now, I think this time I really mean it. I'm really going to quit. That noise of the machine starting to irritate me. I'm just flat worn out. Okay. So, and I'm just going in circles because I can't even keep my thoughts together. But I've got a lot of work done on it today. I mean, well, I don't know if it's a lot, but I got some work done on it. Let's just say, put it that way. Trying to get my mouse to work over here. I think the little old Dell 6000's tired too. It's doing pretty good though. 1.6 gigahertz single core with 2 gig of RAM, and it's just sitting there running all day, and at least monitoring my stream for me. And actually today, I rebooted it once, but I don't think this time I haven't closed the browser at all during this, and it shows that crazy timer on that one. It shows 45 minutes, so that means it's an hour and 45 minutes or 46 minutes. Long enough. So I did about the same, around 2 hours. I can't remember now. Was it 2 or more than 2 hours earlier? So I've had that's a long day. And that's what I got done. Whatever it was I got done there. Basically, what did I get done? I got the Firefox synced, and the settings kind of. I think I'm pretty well got that all set up where she can use it. Just kind of look through other stuff, and so now I'm going to figure out: do I want to go one at a time? I'll have to at least look at a list or something. Well, I can look back at my machine. I do that a lot. Like with a remote desktop, I can leave it not on full screen, and I can go back and forth and say, okay, what do I have on here? But I have so many, it's hard to find them. But like I said, I'm not going to open it up right now because I need to go. But I do have a script I made that has a few of my favorite apps, probably 6 or 10. I could run that on there, but it's probably got some she don't want. They're my favorite apps, some she doesn't know how to use or anything. But and then there's still that, like I was saying, if I don't do it in the GUI, then I'll probably be missing some plugins and stuff that I want. But if I say, okay, I want VLC, and I go to the GUI, this takes forever, but it is an efficient way to do it. And it's how I learned to do all this stuff originally, is I'd go to the GUI, do a search, and then I would look through everything and see, okay, what looks like things, first I didn't know, I would just say, that looks cool, I'll try it out. I'd read the description, and now I know what most, I always find new things, but I know what I want, okay, I want VLC. Oh yeah, well here's this add-on that goes with it that I'd want, and this and that and the other. And then I want, whatever, the other stuff. Even just for her, there's still going to be, if I do them one at a time like that, it's still going to be, if I do 10 apps, then it'll be probably an hour per app at least, and that's not counting when I open it up and do settings in the app, so, but that just to it depends. I mean, maybe it'll go really quick on some apps, and then I can do it all start to finish, install settings, everything within about an hour. But you can see how long it takes, it just goes on and on. But that's what it takes to do it. So, but that is why I really would rather just make a strip from a system I have up and running, and so what if you get too many apps? Just don't use them. At least for people that can handle that, So, because I can run that script, and I can install 1,500 apps, and more than that. I think it's like this machine here probably has about 2,500 apps. Well, I can install all those apps on another machine in about an hour and a half, 2 hours with that script. Just get it started and let it run. So that's why I'd really rather do that. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, my voice is my throat's kind of hoarse today, kind of sore. I don't know why. I hadn't been doing that last week or so. I don't know if it's because I talked a whole lot more, or if something in the air, in the rainy air today, or what. Anyway, I'm going to go, and don't imagine, I'm not planning on coming back today. But tomorrow I plan on it, come back to work on it. And it looks like, unless something surprises me, it looks like I think Fedora 27 with 8 desktop will run good enough on her machine. so I can just go ahead and continue building it up and getting it ready for her. Should be okay. Alright, well, I'm going to go, and I'll be back later. Bye-bye.